mind, they might want to take notes. We saw some notes there from Psycho Sid on this match, preparing already for the next time that they meet. It's definitely something you have to keep in the back of your mind. Wow, the bans just coming out so quick here. Obviously the Vayne pointed at double lift, but the triple bans from CLG just immediate too. Nothing unexpected coming from their side.
And these are pretty standard ones. Now, Mandatory Cloud, actually, remember watching their earlier game today, the one that I wasn't casting, and it was like, Needly wasn't banned. So they're going to pick Needly here.
Yeah,
they're going to pick Needly here. And they didn't. He went Rise.
This may be part of the mind games. Both teams really built up the Nidalee, and now no Nidalee ban, and it doesn't look like they're locking her in very quickly here. So it might even just go over to Vulcun if they want to take it. Maybe CLG have prepped something that they want to bait a Nidalee with, and then counter that very hard. It's really going to be up to Vulcun here. You can see they're actually considering it. Do we want to bite on this? Because Mandatory Cloud has just an amazing Nidalee record.
Yes.
It's kind of hard not to go with that pick if it's given to you.
It is going to be an interesting setup here. Now, CLG I'm actually interested by because we've seen Thresh be such a common first pick, and they were like, do we want Sona right off the bat?
So the thing that makes me think they're trying to bait that Nidalee pick is that Sona with a Bulwark is one of the best counters to an AP Nidalee, because that's a ton of magic resist, plus the constant healing for those siege games. The only problem is if the team with Nidalee gets to the siege before Sona's got a Bulwark up, then she's very vulnerable to being checked out by those spears. And it looks like Vulcun not going to be the first one to pull the trigger on that Nidalee pick.
Now, the Nasus ban, of course, went through, so no double brother lineup, but they've still grabbed their Nectin, and they put Jarvan on top of that.
Pretty good combo right there. Everybody always talks about the armor penetration interaction between those two. They also work very well together with their ganking combos, because Renekton in lane, he's got that slice and dice that he can get to his opponent almost whenever he wants, and he's got his just targeted auto attack stun that he can pull off and set up Jarvan to come in with his combo. So if you have those in the same team in any game, really, you have to be watching out for that lane. Still, no Nidalee pick coming through. They'd rather go with the global presence of the Shen.
All right, so Shen has been grabbed up, and also Tristana for a double lift. We don't see that a ton from him, not in his top 3, but he's grabbed it here.
So he's shying away from that Twitch, which has been his secondary pick the last few days, opting to go with Tristana. Twitch making an appearance on the other side. Tristana, we saw so many times from Vulcun, from Zuna. He loves that champion. The late game power is just right in Vulcan's playstyle. They love to wait for him to get that max range, to get that max rapid shot with his Infinity Edge. And so CLG taking away Tristana is really more of a pick denying Zuna than it is double lift saying, yeah, Tristana's my next best AD that I'm going to bring to the table here.
And of course, we did see Zuna successful on Twitch, though, against Don't Match Me's Tristana a little while back, just a couple games ago. So this will be an interesting kind of rematch up here as CLG looks for their next 2 picks. We know both bottom lanes. CLG, I guess Shen could be kind of anywhere.
Yeah, we've seen it before. They try and trick them out. If they do end up going with Chasters and Mumu, then it will force that Shen onto Hotshot. He's never one to complain about getting Shen. The champion kit really just fits him to a T. Loves split pushing, loves tanking, loves being farming out there on the side. And then Link, instead of Nidalee, goes with the poke from Lux here. And it's really a different style of poke. You go for the pick with your light blinding and just try and burst someone 100% to 0 right there. Whereas the Nidalee, you want to land multiple spears over and over. The Mandatory Cloud pick still open. Do they leave it to last pick, or do they go with my 2% of not having it picked or banned in this match?
There's definitely a chance right here. But so as we look for the Vulcun last pick here, CLG's lineup, they've grabbed the jungle Amumu. Walk me through how their early mid-game plays with this sort of setup.
I mean, you have actually a decent amount of mid-game pressure when you have Amumu. As soon as he hits level 6, I love to do a gank right at that moment. The best part about Amumu is pulling off ganks when you have your full CC combo available. As soon as you hit, oh, it looks like, yeah, the Rise locked in. There will be no Nidalee. All of the drama that we've built up around that pick really just comes to nothing. I'm sure everyone at home is sad too. Nobody gets to see it.
No, I'm sad indeed. And I had it ready. He was going to rain spears down on the opposition. Like,
Yeah, get them all out now. I know you prepped a bunch for this.
Vulcun has 2 more games. We can wait. I'll get that one off my chest, but we'll go on from there. So we have the lineups here, right? CLG, you talked about the Amumu gang presence, the early game power. Vulcun, give me it.
It kind of broke off right there. Yeah, so that's the AoE. Everybody knows about that with the Amumu side. For the Vulcun side here, with the last pickup being Rise, the fighter mage, it actually gives them a lot of the extended team fights are actually going to be a lot easier for them. So they're going to make great use of that Cataclysm, trying to control the battlefield, actually changing the terrain. And then we've got that Twitch that's going to be in the back line. Zuna is not the don't match me style of Twitch player where he says he's super aggressive, he's always in your face. He goes for those stealth kills. He always looks for heads up 1v1. Zuna is definitely that late game AD carrier that always likes to be in the back and use his spray and pray first before he goes into range. And plus he's going to have that Lulu knockup if anyone is able to jump on him. Obviously Zuna going to take cleanse. Whenever you're up against an Amumu team, as your AD carry, you're going to take that cleanse to get out of one of the 2 CCs at least from the team. CLG, though, they do have the backup with Sona Crescendo, too, stacking AoE CCs. Very teamfight oriented, plus the threat of the split push from Hotshot Shen.
All right, and of course, in Doublelift, they will trust. The game has been loaded. We are hitting the rift here. You can see the players' faces on your screens. Now you can see their champions on your screens. Let's get it going. Blue side counter Logic Gaming. This win gives them 4th for sure. Up on Vulcun, they are fighting for the playoffs. They're looking good so far. Looking for their 3rd win in a row today.
The interesting part about these 2 teams matching up with these team comps is that Vulcun, usually we say, is a very late game oriented team, but CLG have just picked a tremendous powerhouse for that late game with all the AoE CCs and Tristana as their AD, the ultimate late game scaler right there. So we'll have to see if Vulcun just go play this game out according to plan and just play it slow and go into late game like they were successful with already today.
Yeah, they had been pretty good so far. So Zuna heads up against Hotshot. Looks like a possible lane swap here for Vulcun. 2v1 top lane. Of course, Hotshot will happily face against that here. We see Doublelift's Tristana and Aframu's Sona have run to the bottom half of the map. There's a Jarvan, puts a flag down. Sees, okay, still no one is here. They're not waiting around like on the other side of that wall to throw out a light binding, so they are going to be safe. Aframu running up into the jungle. That's going to be a ward by the blue buff.
You know, I kind of miss the days. You know, it was only a week ago when pretty much every single game we were seeing jungle invade after jungle invade, and they'd always happen to meet up for some epic brawl that would get it started off very early. But everybody now has sort of calmed down, waiting for the minions to come onto the field here, and now they've spawned. We see a little bit of movement. Both teams sending their AD and support to take golems. A little bit of movement here, interesting, from Smithy, not starting off at a camp. It might be a late invade from Vulcun here. The jungler is getting seen out by this nicely placed ward from CLG. He actually might pay for not starting on a camp here, but they do force Chowster off that all-important blue buff.
They will spot it. It is a 3-on-3 right here. Hotshot goes right by. There's the ward down to the brush. And actually they send Link away, so actually CLG will try to take away the blue. Smithy smites this one out. They get that, but here comes Link and the rest of the crew. He's going to go for it. No, Psycho Sid gets the blue buff, but there's Aframu and Doublelift. This could be close. Nothing picked up. However, Mancloud will not get the blue buff he desired there. That's actually going over to Psycho Sid in that one.
I think the main point of them doing their own blue buff right there with bottom and mid was just that they don't want Amumu to be able to come over and counter steal a blue buff, because the one thing that you always want to go through when you're going up against an Amumu and why he hasn't picked all the time, he's very, very vulnerable to those blue buff invades because he needs that for his early game jungle. This is actually going to put Chowster behind fairly early, which is a big problem for CLG because Chowster is notorious for being under-leveled and under-farmed when we do get to that mid and late game.
Alrighty, so let's keep track of how these junglers end up panning out. 9 to 8 minions right now. Chowster hasn't fallen behind yet. Of course, he still has a mana pool, but let's keep an eye on that throughout this match. In the bottom lane, we see Psycho Sid now hitting level 2. He's in this 1v2 lane down here. See if he can survive that. Of course, Hotshot, GG in the top in the same exact situation. They're looking for a little bit of harass here, Zuna and Bloodwater.
Also got to remember, when you're comparing CS of junglers, it's which camps have they killed, because the large camps in the jungle are worth so much more than these small ones. So if you've killed, 4 more wraiths than someone else, it almost means nothing if the other person has gotten the blue buff kill and the red buff kill. So looking at the levels is really going to tell a lot from them. It looks like Chaucer, or the early base to finish up his Spirit
Stone.
Yeah, Spirit Stone there. Hasn't upgraded it quite yet. It's going to be nice for him. And he'll probably look for maybe a lane gank or something here because he doesn't have the sustain, the mana sustain from his blue buff.
And Bloodwater has gone down, put a ward by that mid lane, keeping Mandatory Cloud in a safer place. Keeping pressure from putting him out of the lane. Mandatory Cloud last hitting, putting Link back toward his turret right there. Link with the Lucent Singularity still doing pretty well. Actually, looks like no real turret damage going to happen here. So heads up 1v1. 22 to 24, those guys are pretty equal. Smithy walking by a ward though in this top lane.
Yeah, so he walks by the same ward twice. It doesn't really matter because he's coming in for the lane just he's just coming in for lane presence here to try and shove this. Hotshot very much aware. Chaucer going for a walking gank in the middle to try and put some more pressure of his own.
He certainly ganked the lane. These minions are falling pretty rapidly to Chaucer, so not really the lane gank you were talking about, but hey, at least it happened. Zuna pops his stealth for attack speed. The flag down as well from Smithy. This turret down to half health already, just at like under 5 minutes. They might be getting it in this wave. Hotshot had already recalled back to base to get health, mana, well, health and items, really not mana so much. And Vulcun at 5 minutes and 2 seconds into the game will take down the first turret, but Psycho Sid, he's about to lose his at the hands of CLG.
You could see as soon as Smithy showed top, the call from Chaucer was made to double lift and Afro to start just pouring everything they have into that bottom turret, and they focused everything on it, putting a lot of damage. It looks like they'll be able to answer quickly enough that the switch from Vulcun will not deny the tower advantage here from CLG. And we always say the blue team comes out slightly ahead if you do exchange these two turrets because of that dragon control.
Let's see how that ends up panning out. Pink ward does come down from Aframu, so they are already thinking about that dragon. You called it right, Kobe. Chaucer level 4, actually holding up decently okay against Smithy, also level 4, so not quite falling terribly far behind. We'll see if this ends up being an issue later on. Zuna and Bloodwater have already been swapped back down. They're going to be now by this turret. We'll see if they can get any ganks out of this one. Again, that pink ward on the river, there are actually no wards bottom at all, except for the one right there on your screen for Vulcun.
Chaucer tried to compensate for his lack of blue buff by buying a blue potion, the mana potion there, but he used it when he was at almost full mana. Now the ward does get seen, and he lands a nice hook onto Bloodwater.
He is forced to flash.
So he gets a flash right out.
Okay, so the ward did now come out in the brush. They will see Chaucer the next time he comes from that side. Hotshot, you saw him pushing the top lane. Mandatory Cloud still chilling in mid. Link is trying to push him back. Some decent damage actually coming out from the Lucent Singularity. Smithy now making his way around. He will actually not get revealed by a ward on his way over. This could be his chance to put damage onto Link, who is now hit level 6. Goes for the light binding. They're going to move on forward. There's the Rune Prison. There's the knockup. Look at the damage onto Link. Oh my gosh, it's bursted out. First blood goes to Smithy.
Not even time to flash there for Link. That's why I say Ryze is so good at setting up ganks. That Rune Prison keeping him in place for the knockup from Smithy. So much damage able to burst him down 100% to 0. Now they get that pressure on the mid turret that Chaucer is going to have to come and soak up.
That is going to be a very nice early setup there for Vulcun. Zuna going to be farming underneath the shambles of his dead turret as Smithy runs around the map. Again, they have timing on the blue buff. They killed it last time. Look at that. Actually deals the damage as he comes across. His smite is available, and he's actually not getting hit just yet. Ward goes down, still doing damage. Hotshot's coming by, but here comes a teleport from ManCloud. Will they stop them here? ManCloud shows up. Smite comes out, and Smithy steals away another blue buff. Chaucer has not even seen one this game
yet. Really, really hard for that Mumu. They're denying it not only from Chaucer, but at this point, it's from Link as well. The Lux with blue buff, very, very important. Both these mid laners love to play those champions that are blue buff dependent. Mandatory Cloud, no exception. This time on the Ryze, and since they stole away the blue buff of CLG, even though it didn't go to Mandatory Cloud, it means that they have theirs available, but the dragon being rushed down by CLG right now. Half life already.
Chaucer has smite, and of course Smithy does not. I don't think they can burst this out. They will not. The smite comes across. Chaucer forced to flash away. And that's it. They get Dragon for a flash. That's totally worth it for CLG.
Yes, what a call from Chaucer right there. They say, oh my goodness, you guys did a great play. You stole my blue buff away, but that means for sure your smite is down. I'll trade my flash to get a dragon.
That was a great pickup there. Mandatory Cloud going to put some tattoos on that golem and take the blue buff for himself. Hotshot GG stopping that top lane push still. Of course, he has Stand United if a fight ever does break out.
I was going to say that would be a huge tool for forcing Dragon, but CLG had already forced that. They took a one away because of the placement here from Smithy, and the gold lead back to even here. That first blood kind of giving them the edge there to combat the Dragon gold. Now we just have everybody sort of farming contently. Some nice far wards here for Psycho Sid so that he's able to push up even towards the second turret against Hotshot.
Zuna's farming alone in the bottom lane. ManCloud is forced to run away right here. And we can see, if you look at this top scoreboard here, actually Psycho Sid and Hotshot in a 1v1. Hotshot actually forcing Sid back. 43 to 48 in minions. And look at this mid lane now, actually under a lot of pressure. CLG pushing forward. And Vulcun are coming a little bit slow to defend this, down below half health. Shield comes off from Bloodwater. Will they move on forward? Looks like they're just AoEing minions out. So not much gain. CLG down just 400 gold despite the first blood.
So the thing about Amumu ultimate being up and not using it is that he had to already burn his flash because of that dragon that they did, so he could get out and escape with his life. Amumu without that flash ult is a lot less scary. So it's not as big of a deal of burning that ultimate on cooldown. But as he walks down, he looks like he does want to make use of it though in this bottom lane here. He just runs through the ward. They're gonna get noticed, and Vulcun back out.
Puts a pink ward down there that will give him control over the river. It falls back. 25 gold going to Chowster. He is level 6, as you said, and a level behind Smithy, so the blue buff steals seem to be starting to really make their way into Chowster's level progression. Hotshot and Sid still in a battle, and Sid seems to be coming out a little bit better over time on this one, bringing Hotshot a little bit down in health, putting the pressure down into the turret, and no one has stopped this Renekton yet. With
all those wards bottom too, this would be a perfect time for CLG to freeze bottom lane and just hold all that CS away from Zuna, but Tristana passively pushes, so Tristana really can't freeze a lane, and Doublelift is going to be forced to push this as Vulcun turn their sights towards middle. A lot of damage on this middle turret.
They've got 4 right there. A lot of damage is coming across, though. As the smite comes out from Chowster, they have now no more minions to tank the turret. It's at half health, and Vulcun must now run away. Sid still 1v1ing Hotshot, gets some healing back, but now Hotshot's actually the one coming out a little bit better for this one. And here comes Chowster in from the right-hand side. Of course, as you mentioned, still has that ulti available.
And Sid actually backs out because his ward is down. Right time right there, because Chowster was coming in for the gank. Even though he didn't see him come in, he knew that it was time to peace out. There's not enough vision.
All right, and of course it's so nice that he peaced out, and of course the peace sign is to make a V with your fingers. So I thought of that, and it's not even a good joke, but I had to say it. CLG in the mid lane. I'm just going to gloss over that one. Smithy trying to defend this one as well. 4-man now CLG mid lane. Zuna nowhere to be seen, so this is a numbers advantage for CLG.
So we have that Curse of the Sad Mummy and Crescendo up. Doublelift has a BF sword, so it's oh, here we go for Smithy, just misses the Donko.
They do find some damage on a Doublelift though, but just not enough to continue in the battle. They did not have the numbers to go through. That turret getting lower and lower, damage being dealt. Zuna just farms, 83 minions on him.
And we still have a Hotshot with Stand United available. So when the fight does break out, they're going to have that extra shield and that extra body come into fight. Meanwhile, Sid just going to have to stay up in whatever lane he's at and try and push that one in. This could be 5 members of CLG at any point right now. They're going to go hard for this turret.
Looking for some damage here. It is dropping health pretty quickly. No knockups going to come from Smithy. They will give that one up. Chowster lands the banish shots. There's the ult as well. Shen coming across. Look at the burst coming off on Smithy. Can he die from this? He will. Chowster finds one. The equalize is there. 1-to-1, the turret down. CLG looking good.
So obvious that CLG were going to go for that one, and they had 2 split pushers for Vulcun without teleports. It's not too horrible for Vulcun though, because they are going to get a lot of damage on onto the creep wave down here on the bottom lane. So that's going to be a lot of experience loss, at least until Doublelift is able to rush down there and clean up all that money with Sims.
Indeed, he will. And of course, Link now finally being given the blue buff, so one has been grabbed here. Aftermoon and Doublelift do in fact grab that money, diving into it like Scrooge McDuck would. And there is Hotshot at his home territory, really. He's in the top lane, he's pushing, fighting minions over and over again.
Hotshot very content to go back to his farming, split pushing ways, even though his Stand United now going to be down for quite a while. And it's really just put a lull in the Vulcun here after taking down that mid turret. That really just opens up the rest of their junk, as we always like to say. now the wards from CLG are just going to be that much more important. The deeper that CLG can get their wards and their vision into the side of Vulcun, the more control they're going to be able to exert, and the more they're going to be able to starve out Mandatory Cloud from receiving his blue buffs. Turn the tables on him.
Okay, well, Dragon is coming up in 20 seconds, though, and the Hotshot GG ult is down right now. So this is Vulcan's chance to go for a 4-on-4 and do a little something. They're grabbing the blue buff on a Mandatory Cloud. Dragon's coming up. Who fights for this?
So they definitely are going to pick this one up, and Rise with blue buff is going to be huge. Meanwhile, Link has his too, and he's got an easily large rod. So CLG definitely will want to try and contest this as they just clear out all of CLG's vision. Chaucer tries to drop one over the wall, but we're going to have them all converge, and the AoE CC is going to be huge inside this Dragon Pit if they can land crescendos and curse. The curse is not up, so and neither is the crescendo. Just kidding. They're trying to stall it out.
But I wonder if Vulcan even knows about this. They're giving him so much leeway right here, trying to put some damage down, but they're just afraid of basically only Link right here.
They thought like I thought that CLG was coming in with 2 AoE CCs, and they backed off of that one. But you're right, both of those were actually down, and it was really the bluff from CLG right there with Link throwing out his bindings. They didn't want anyone to get caught because they thought there was going to be CC to back it up. Maybe they didn't have the timers on those like we do. We can just look at the old pictures on the side here.
It'd be useful for them to have those. Oh, your ult's up. Oh, okay. No big problem. In fact, if they could just see the spectator overlay and just, oh, okay, you're at the top, or you're going to steal our blue buff, you wouldn't even need wards. The CLG are going hardcore in the top lane. Of course, Dragon wasn't even traded for that, so they're just happy to just put on the damage. His turret is completely going to go down without answer. Actually, I take that back. Vulcan are answering with a mid lane turret of their own. The shield buying a little bit of time there from Bloodwater, and they've traded middle for top turret. But CLG, they're going to keep going. Psycho Sid kind of in the background, not looking at anything. And Vulcan aren't really doing anything to stop this push right now.
It looks like they're making a beeline up for the top here. Lux, there's not really a way he could join the fight, but we do have Mandatory Cloud last seen in middle for them too, so they know that at worst it's going to be a 4-on-4.
Well, it looks like that is the case right here as CLG gets to back out safely, and Vulcan doesn't really force anything. Of course, they still have that ward coverage over Dragon, but CLG just getting a little bit of free map pressure. 1,200 gold lead for them. 16 minutes in. Not a lot of champion kills necessarily, but a lot of map objectives being fought over this game.
Yeah, and like we said, the cooldown timer is so important in those map objectives. A lot of these players in the LCS still have said that they have it's really hard to keep track of all those timers. Really, ideally, you would love to be able to keep track of all the flashes and all the ultimates for everyone on the opposing team. But that's just so many things to keep in your mind while still playing your lane and playing your matchup that it's really some of that sort of next level play, I guess, that some of the Chinese and Koreans have really put a lot of work into.
I want to see a Quake duelist play League and just time literally everything.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Like, it'd be so much fun to watch him just get every single cooldown all the time. Vulcan, though, top lane defending this one. So, now that CLG have gone most of the top lane, they have sent Hotshot to, guess, the bottom lane. Smithy steals away a golem, but CLG on that split push. Always, always, always.
Yeah, this is really CLG's game plan right now. Everything's going pretty well for them because they do have that teamfight-oriented double AoE CC and the split pusher for Hotshot. Just perfect place out for him. He's very much at home going 1v1 here. Mandatory Cloud now the one to answer him, though. Mandatory Cloud's teleport is up. So they actually could turn this into a 5-on-5 as we have a crocodile in the bush.
He's going in. He's going to find the sun into Afro. Look at him. Just get exploded right there where they have the damage. The teleport comes in from ManCloud. Do they have enough, though? Zuna flashes. He finds the kill to Afro, who didn't even get to use Crescendo. ManCloud flashes forward. Can he get the rune present? He gets it a little bit there on a double lift, who still gets away from that one with the rocket jump. And he's going to keep moving forward. ManCloud finds double lift. Double lift pushes him back. Lands a Q, but doesn't find much else. One kill for nothing, but Hotshot pushing that side lane.
His Stand United was available, but he didn't think Afromu was going to go down to that. The flash from Zuna really caught him off guard. AD flashing forward for that kill. Great for Vulcan, and Hotshot just not quite on his toes.
He wasn't quite there, so instead he's going to be pushing on towards Vulcan's turret. He's an on-fire ninja. He's going to move on forward as Mandatory Cloud has made his way to the bottom lane in time to not lose that turret, and he's going to keep farming.
Yeah, now his teleport is down though, so the split push matchup here really only goes one way. Hotshot's got the advantage. And they do still have that combo of the curse plus the crescendo. It just happens that they're not really in position for this dragon. Chaucer's running his little legs as fast as he can to get over here.
Let's see if the Yodel can do it, though. He's about to make his way over. Smithy wants to go in for this one. Will he get the smite? The blue team actually gets it. He miss-smites it. That's picked up by CLG. Zuna falls over right away, and there is double up. He's going to find Smithy. Almost definitely he does. 2 kills and a dragon picked up for CLG, and Psycho Sid is split pushing.
Great for CLG right there. They were able to pull that one out, even without Chaucer being over there to try and steal it away. Afro move picking up the slack on that Sona, grabbing the dragon kill, and now the middle turret. You know, maybe it's just everybody on CLG. It's inherently good at stealing dragons.
Oh, they got a middle turret down as well. Renekton did get the top turret down, but he's fighting up against Hotshot GG and jumping over a wall, now recalling back. But CLG, they're just kind of wresting control of the map. Look at this, they're going to go up for the top lane as well. It's so low they can backdoor it easily. This will be their 5th turret picked up. CLG really controlling a lot of this map.
Yeah, and they still have that Stand United up right now. Hotshot can join, great shield, and no matter who gets initiated on right now, it could even be Chaucer. You know, the problem of having a little bit squishier of a tank, not too bad when you have Shen, because when you teleport in with your Stand United, you do want to be on that front line, and that would actually help him out with positioning Mandatory Cloud with a nice bunch of minions to back him up on this bottom turret.
That does seem to help him. That turret almost definitely going to be his as it gets lower and lower and lower, but Vulcun, with Oracle's control, trying to sweep out the jungle. Smithy does not find the blue buff available. There we go. Mandatory Cloud has killed that bottom turret. 5-4 actually. Vulcun only down 1 turret, only down 1 champion kill, only down 1,500 gold.
Pretty big for them right now. I mean, because CLG have done such a good job of controlling objectives, though, they're still able to dictate every single team fight here. They're really just controlling where Vulcun go. Right now, they can just continue to apply the pressure bottom with Hotshot and the rest of the team with their double AoE CCs forced in the rest of the lane. I have to point out the CES difference between junglers, not that big. Even though they were able to invade the blue, Chaucer's done a good job this time. A lot of those are actually lane minions for Chaucer because he's made so many lane appearances, but he has not fallen into that trap that's been plaguing him recently, where he's a very squishy tank and just gets exploded at the beginning of the team fight. He's picked up that Giant's Belt to back up his bulwark.
So tell me about some of the other players on the CLG lineup. And the champs, like we said, it's about Doublelift. It's his backpack, it's the Tristana. He's going to have to carry 101, 139 minions. Is he in a position to carry this game by himself, or does he need the team for it?
Well, the team is perfectly poised to help him with that. They actually don't have to rely too heavily on Doublelift this time. They actually have a great comp right here. They've got the Bulwark, and they didn't force Afromu to buy it. They had the jungler pick that one up and rush it because they know that the support will get it a lot later. Now they have it for the crucial team fight here. Bloodwater definitely getting caught.
He gets double CC'd, falls down to 2 ults on 1 champion, but that might just be enough for CLG. Psycho Sid takes some damage. Will they enter back? Again, Vulcun knows they've got an ult advantage at this point, really, if they do want to go for this one. CLG, though, they're going to push towards this mid lane. 4 members are there. Of course, Hotshot will be available whenever. Mandatory Cloud will recall back. And let's see what CLG goes for. They're pushing up the mid lane. They've got minions there. The damage is coming across. Will Vulcun try to fight? Slow comes out. Smithy's going to look for something. Can he get the knockup? Does not land much except for Chaucer. Here comes the teleport in as well. Stand United comes across. That's going to find onto Zuna. Where's the damage going to come from? There's the ult coming. Mandatory Cloud then a half health. Now it's Psycho Sid in the middle. ManCloud gets the kill into Afro. They're going to run back. Chaucer taking a bunch of damage. Will he fall down? Yes. Another one picked up. Psycho Sid just surviving. Smithy flashing away. Hotshot flashing away. The light fight lands onto 2. Zuna still chasing. He's trying to south. The taunt comes in from Hotshot. Will they turn this one back? Zuna is alive! He's still, no, he does finally fall down, but triple kill now picked up. Only 2 members of CLG are alive, and they're chasing down onto Link. Doublelift has no mana, very little health. They get a 3-for-1 in that fight.
That just goes to show the importance of those the AoE CC ultimates that we keep talking about. They didn't hesitate to blow them both to pull off a kill on Bloodwater, but that was the support, and they end up losing that team fight in the end there. Stand United finally was blown. Well played by Vulcun there. Not hesitating to start the fight, even though they were down in numbers. They were up in available tools.
They were, and you saw that. And actually, the very end there, Bloodwater like flash for like the heroic wild growth to buy 3 more seconds. Of course, CLG did disengage at the end of that one, and now you're seeing the aftermath. 33.5, 32.8, 700 gold separates these teams. We've got the Psycho Sid split pushing in the top lane on Renekton. He's still going to be there. You got the rest of Vulcun and the rest of CLG regrouping now across this map. ManCloud 3-0-1. Sid said in the interview, you don't want to get him fed early, but 24 minutes in, he's starting to get fed now.
Look how even this game is now. That just turned it right around. All the pressure that CLG had been putting out, controlling the map, dictating where everyone was going, kind of just got thrown to the wind right there. They used both of their giant CC skills right on top of each other, actually, by the way. They didn't even space those out quite right.
No, not entirely. They did get the kill, but here comes Doublelift. He's almost a little bit surrounded. The rest of Vulcun are here. 5 on 5 is potentially available. CLG are going to back out for this one. Chouster and Afremu have their ultimates. Only Hotshot is without cooldowns. For the entire team, really, that's the only, of 10 players, the only guy without an ultimate available.
Yeah, the next team fight will be very explosive as we see CLG setting up for the old bush gank here. How far will a Croc venture? It looks like he doesn't go past the river, so he'll be safe.
He's not going to find new bayous to run to. Instead, you have CLG running right now towards the bottom river. Dragon is available. Will the teams prioritize this? Vulcun now within 100 gold on this matchup. Again, CLG wants this win to secure 4th place. They cannot lose it if they win here. Chouster, Hotshot, they're starting up on the Dragon. Vulcun not even going to try. They're going to grab that one for free. 1,000 gold bonus there to CLG. And now we can see that Vulcun are just farming a side lane.
So they're still controlling the objectives here, even after it got so even there. CLG, they've got plenty of ward control, still able to pick up that free global gold. And Mandatory Cloud has done a good thing here. He's answered Hotshot split push with an early Boots of Distortion upgrade, which brings the cooldown of his teleport down to 203 seconds, which is only 20 or so seconds off of Hotshot Stand United. So he only has to delay that matchup for an extra half minute or so for it to turn out well for them.
And that will be a good saving grace there for Vulcun to deal with the split push. You're seeing, though, as we crest now towards the end game teamfight phase, as builds get completed. Got like a Frozen Heart done, you got Infinity Edge done on both sides for the AD carries. Who's got the biggest punchy item here?
All these items look real good. You can see they match up very nicely. Both AD carries with the Infinity Edges. They both went with the late game builds because they're both on late game AD carries, and they both are really packing that punch. The discrepancy here is between the mid laners because Ryze is a mana champion. He's got a Frozen Heart instead of that Deathfire Grass. He's still going to be putting out tremendous amounts of damage because there's a lot of mana and cooldown reduction on that, but he also adds the utility of that all-important attack speed slow aura. The only thing is, Tristana will outrange that aura. The aura is only 600, and she is already up to 658.
Alright, so let's see if Mandatory Cloud can get his face in there a little bit and try to slow down Doublelift. Otherwise, as you mentioned, he won't even be affected by that Frozen Heart. So, CLG, once again, playing the Baron dance, pushing forward. They've got oracles, they've got wards.
There's a new interesting, actually, particle that they've added to Frozen Heart. When you have it on your team, you can see a nice little snowflake over people that are affected by it. So people wondering about the range of that don't have to guess anymore. It is actually pretty short, and so you need to get around an Ashes auto attack range if that helps you judge it to be able to slow people's attack speeds with that aura.
Exactly. So there we go. Vulcun on the way back. Actually, Mandatory Cloud and Zuna were both split pushing. They've got to actually get back, though, because CLG are knocking at the front door of their base, and they've got so many wards around Baron as well. This could be just their area of control. Psycho Sid sweeps out the mid lane. They're moving on forward. Bloodwater is nearby, and the 2 major carries are coming down as well. You can now see CLG on your screen. They walk by a ward. Afremu is going to be able to see that and get 25 gold for himself. There we go, brings that one down. Nope, Hotshot steals away the 25 gold. Scumbag Hotshot GG.
So each team has 10 summoners and 5 ultimates available. Everything is going to go down in this next team fight. This is going to be explosive. Next time that we have Chouster and Afro using their ult, hopefully for CLG, they will stagger them a little bit and not stack them right on top of each other like we saw before. The communication is actually going to be really important for those. They don't want to blow them early because we saw before a team fight without those could be devastating for CLG.
Vulcun are starting to make some moves. You're seeing them slink through CLG's jungle looking for a surround onto somebody. They've got Link right across the wall. Another ward goes down. This could be their chance to go for it. It's going to be a flash. They're going to find Link. Look at the damage output. He gets one-shotted right there during the Rune Prison. And now it's a 5-on-4 for 38 seconds. What's Vulcun going to go for? Right now it's the mid lane. They could try something.
People, you know, they feel safe in their own jungle, but you can't let that get you. Link just recalling in a poor position there. Mandatory Cloud doesn't hesitate to use his flash. Like I said, he got those early distortion boots. Brings that ridiculously long cooldown down to 188 seconds. Not going to hesitate.
That is going to be nice for him, though. Link coming back in 14 seconds, guys. We're only 28 minutes in, actually, so the respawn timer is not terribly long right now. Doublelift just farming out underneath his turret. Of course, shockingly, CLG is giving that Tristana the farm of all players. It is their AD carry. And you can see the mid lane push not really amounting to much here from Vulcun. They have not picked up a turret kill in some time. It is still 5-4 in CLG's favor with the gold. Despite the dragons going down to CLG, Vulcun is now up in money by 100 gold only.
This game's so close, and the picks are so important now for both teams. We just saw one for Vulcun there, but Link has a Void Staff on top of his death cap, so if he's able to pick out Zuna or something, that could be taking one of the most crucial members of Vulcun off the field in the blink of an eye. The combos from Link have shown to be game-changing so far.
They have been overall, just so much ability power, so much magic fen. He will be a fun guy to watch. Chowster taking away the Wraiths. Easy for him. I know Doublelift would have wanted them, but instead he will not act from getting a ward kill there. They're getting control over Baron again. Here we go, Bloodwater hasting himself, looking for wards to kill. He's going to sweep this out pretty easily. Smithy again sweeping down in the mid lane. Mandatory Cloud looking for another little cheeky push right here. He's alone in the bottom lane, and Zuna's actually coming to support him. They've got this weird sort of 2-on-0. What's it going to be? Vulcun are putting pressure on the mid lane, and CLG are there to defend it. Zuna is still waiting around on the side. No one from CLG are turning around for this one. This is going to be Mandatory Cloud. Looking, he pings the turret. He's doing damage there. The rest of CLG are still piling up the mid lane. They think that Zuna isn't down there. In fact, Zuna's going to recall. He does not want to race this base, so CLG putting themselves right into harm's way. They're going up for this middle turret. The teleport and the recall, both available for Mandatory Cloud. We'll see which one he chooses. Pink Ward goes down. It's a little bit of damage. It's actually going to dive right on in, and it is going to be a teleport in from Man Cloud. Chowster with a beautiful ult finds so many. Man Cloud's still locked up. He's going down faster and faster. He's trying to survive. Link gets the kill onto Smithy. Man Cloud's going to fall down as well. 2 kills picked up for CLG. Link still surviving. Vulcun now have to run away. Zuna's going to fire back. He finds one. Flashes across the wall. He's now against 4 members of CLG. Puts a slowdown. Actually kites away from this one successfully, but it's still 4-on-3 for CLG.
Psycho Sid started that fight well. Zuna was not there. He was recalling. He doesn't have teleport. He was walking from the fountain for most of that fight. Barely got there at the end to try and answer, and now they lose the turret for it.
Psycho Sid and Bloodwater trying to stop down CLG. They will have Zuna back in the near future. He's still actually waiting outside of his own base and can't make his way in. Sid trying to pull aggro and just will not do it. CLG do not want to hit the crocodile. They want to kill the buildings, and they've done so. 7-7. CLG with a 600 gold lead.
That was a huge misstep, having Zuna go down bottom, trying to split push with Mandatory Cloud without that teleport. Then they definitely paid for it right there. You saw they got the kills. He was not able to put out damage during that. It could have been a completely different team fight. The decisiveness of CLG just paid off in spades right there. They didn't hesitate to rush straight up the middle.
And they just went down onto Rise so incredibly quickly, too. Doublelift grabbing the red buff now at this, well, Blizzard camp, obviously, the red camp there. Killing that off. But now Vulcun, they've actually got control of Dragon. This time, it's weird, like, Dragon comes up, and it's like, it's almost by chance, like, who's available to take it here?
Yeah, it's just kind of a little pot of gold sitting on the map now that appears every once in a while. The really important parts, though, the inhibitor already down for Vulcun, so that's going to mean instant lane pressure, of course, CLG, and the Baron Tango begins again.
Baron Tango does begin, and Hotshot is dressed up with a beautiful cape on his back. It's made of flames, but still dressing the part for a tango. Actually, I have no idea if you're supposed to wear a cape when you're doing the tango. I'm going to move on. CLG are sweeping away from Baron, and once again, after me, we'll find a ward to kill. ManCloud waiting across the wall, does not get spotted out just yet, but Vulcun and CLG both are ready to go 5-man mid here.
The vision control was achieved by CLG, but Vulcun don't care. They want to fight a team fight out in the open. even though they lost the previous team fight, they still feel like they're powerful because they know Zuna wasn't there. That was a huge reason why they were lacking so much damage, and they're not scared of CLG still.
Yeah, so with the super minions flooding into the mid lane, Vulcun have still held on to a gold lead thanks to that dragon. They're up 700 gold, and CLG are now baiting inside of a brush right here. Will Vulcun run into their trap? What can they sweep out? Right now, ManCloud and Zuna are shoving down the mid lane. There's actually a ping, but it's CLG's ping onto themselves. It's not Vulcun. They don't sniff this out right there. Smithy puts down a flag. He does not see them at Baron. Now they've actually pinged that brush. They guessed where that bait might have been. And the bottom lane, though, is where the action is. CLG got that lane pushing, and now they're going to make a move towards Vulcan's base.
This is dangerous. Mandatory Cloud's teleport not up for another 15 seconds. CLG actually don't decide to go to the Baron after all of Vulcan recall. They push up that top, and now they're pinging down there. Do they know where this pink ward is? Because if they go to Baron from the top here, they aren't seeing CLG at all. CLG is starting this without Vulcan knowing. They're not going to get there in time. There's so much damage coming from CLG. They're burning it down, and now they know something is amiss. They're slowly leaking through, but CLG going to get this uncontested.
That is a beautiful play by Counterlogic Gaming. They all came through the wall. The pings come across, but it's too late. CLG get an unanswered Baron 34 minutes in. And let's see what's going to happen out next. It's Mandatory Cloud shoving down the bottom lane. He's 3-1-2, 307 minions there. And look at that double lift just happily jumping across walls, farming out the enemy jungle. And they are going to keep pushing through. CLG with Baron buff.
CLG just playing a very cerebral game right now. They counted all of their bonuses, and they use their map control. They're using the vision. Hotshot tanking some turret shots. They want to get started on this one while Mandatory Cloud is walking from the fountain.
So CLG have Baron buffs, and this gold lead is funny because every one of them has like 1,200 gold in their pockets that they haven't actually spent. So we'll see if the Baron buff means more than actual gold spent on items. CLG actually are flinching right now, looking for some kind of lead on the map. They're sitting on top of a ward. Aftermoon will reveal that in a second. And there we go. He's going to sweep that one out. Where's the action going to come from next? Zuna pops stealth. Will they fight here with the attack speed buff?
So they actually don't want to send Hotshot to split push. They'd rather have him there for the taunt.
They go on in, and there comes a beautiful crescendo into everything. Zuna getting melted so incredibly low, but he's going to turn back for the fight. Doublelift finds one. Can Zuna get the damage? Sid getting dropped out. Doublelift still finding free attacks. They're trying to get away. Doublelift with a double kill so far. ManCloud gets caught out. He might be falling down as well as Tristana. He does find that. Jumps toward the wall. No kills have been found still for Vulcan, and everyone on CLG is alive. They're pushing down onto this turret. The damage still coming through.
Great job tanking by both Hotshot and Chowster right there, escaping with slivers of their lives. Zuna did not go down to that, but they got him low enough that he wasn't able to commit for one of those kills, and they come out of this with everyone alive, still Baroned up, and they're still getting that regen from the Baron.
And you can look at that with the Sona heal as well. They've gotten one more turret. They've got one more inhibitor. That is 2 inhibitors now dead for Vulcan. The mid one will respawn eventually, but it's not up yet as minions flood into Vulcan's base.
This is huge. Their base has just been broken wide open. 2 inhibitors down. Means that Vulcan are going to have to turtle at this point.
They are going to have to turtle. Unfortunately, they don't have Udyr, so it's going to be a little bit harder for them to do that. Vulcan are just trying to kill out as many minions as possible. Middle inhibitor has respawned. Kind of just going into the base.
And at this point in the game, we can start pointing to the CS numbers here between Chowster and Smithy. It seems like Chowster's sort of still in that support mindset where he doesn't take farm. He gives pretty much any farm he can get. He'll just give it over to either Doublelift or Link. He doesn't go for CS numbers. Even in a game where he actually, even though they got blue invaded, he wasn't behind in CS numbers early. He just kind of gives that up optionally. He's like, I'm tanky enough. It's okay. I'm still in that sort of support mindset where he came from. Even as a jungler, he's going to give that up. Not one of the old St. Vicious tax a lane every time you get a gank.
But interestingly enough, I actually checked, and he is actually above Gold on Smithy because of all the global pressure that CLG have had. They're moving on to this middle inhibitor. Of course, it's dropping so incredibly quickly. Sid wants to run forward. Hotshot tanking up the damage. Will they go for this when he gets taunted back? And they've actually kept the inhibitor alive, but CLG might just come back for it now.
Yeah, not for long. That's only a couple hits. CLG very patient. They know they don't have to rush anything. They've got Baron buff. They already have 1 inhibitor down. Another one is just going to be icing on the cake.
And we'll see if they can bake that cake for themselves and move on forward. Chowster in the front. Double gets the kill onto the inhibitor. Now Smithy getting dropped incredibly low. Has to try to run away from this one. Burns his flash to do so. Chowster in the front gets stunned up. Zuna is around. His ult is available if they want to go for it, but no, they just put damage in a hot shot and are forced to run back as minions flood from the top hand side. Can they stem the tide of this water? It's going to be a lot of minions coming through. Here we go. Hot shot taking more pain. Mancloud looking in for this one. They find some pain on a Chowster. The slow coming in from Zuna as well, still without using his ultimate. When will they go in for this fight? Home guard in. They're going to find another stun on a Chowster. There's the Shurelius. They go in. Chowster comes across. Look at the burst though. They find Zuna and Bloodwater. They're both going to fall over. Tristana double kill. They're going to keep on moving forward. Chowster, it's going to be just still running for this one. Mancloud down to half health. Double is going to keep stayed alive with hot shots. Oh, Link finds another kill. Only 2 members alive for Vulcun. Jumping forward is Doublelift. He's going to find more damage. It's going to be Smithy falling. Doublelift is godlike 7, 0, and 6, and they move into the base.
All going according to plan for CLG here. They take down the Nexus turrets, and that's going to be a win for them.
CLG have guaranteed themselves now 4th place in the spring split. The Nexus falls, and CLG finds himself another win this week.
Congratulations. Very well deserved right there. Played it out exactly as if they had mapped the entire game.
Yeah, they did. This is trademark CLG control. You know, low kills, we kind of knew that coming in. They tend to play very methodically, taking map objectives, taking what they can, and kind of going one thing at a time. Then you hit 30 minutes, and they turned it on.
The thing standing out for me is Doublelift with 0 deaths. Yes, everyone always comments on his mechanics, but usually he gets into these fights and these skirmishes, he takes chances, and he ends up, you know, coming out with a few deaths even when they do win like this. But this on Tristana, such a safe champion, you know, not one that he plays a whole lot of, but he was able to just play her perfectly, even though it was switching up his style a little bit. The late game powerhouse really came through for them.
It was absolutely amazing play by these